Hi, everyone. Welcome to the OASIS End of Year Wrap Up and Awards event. I'm Guy Martin, the OASIS Open Executive Director. So, as I think about this year, two things come to mind: transitions and challenges. And for me, these are the two central themes of this year at OASIS Open. As you know, the organization was well on its way towards transitioning to adopting open source projects into the mix of what we already have with our great reputation for open standards. And in March, I was fortunate to transition into the role of your next executive director, a responsibility that I don't take lightly and one that I've been very excited to take on in my first 9 months here. And while I knew I was going to face challenges in this new role, I don't think any of us expected the challenge of a global pandemic. But as you'll see later on in the presentation, the work that all of our members have done has been important in contributing to helping fight COVID-19. And I'm not only incredibly impressed by that, I'm proud of how our staff and you, our members, have rallied to continue to support each other in these very challenging times. So I decided to accept the challenge of coming to OASIS in this new role for me, especially on the standard side where I have a lot less experience than on the open source side, because I truly believe in the incredible possibilities that we have to build a unique hybrid organization that merges the proven track record of open standards with the innovative value of open source, transitioning these two distinct communities into a cohesive whole that not only provides value to all of our members, but to society as a whole. And during our brief time together, we'll give you an updated look at our new brand and website. We'll talk about some exciting new work that's going on in our new European affiliate organization. We'll celebrate the achievements of our members and the projects that they've put together. And finally, we'll wrap up with a quick look back at all that was achieved this year by our members and by the organization. So with that, let's take a quick look at one of the most visible transitions we've made, which is our new website and branding. Share the screen here real quick. Just give me a second. And there we go. So as you can see, we've made several significant changes as we launched our new website, not the least of which is our new logo and the new look and feel and user experience of the website. One of the things we really wanted to do was streamline the top level navigation so that you could get to things easily and quickly. For example, a streamlined experience to just see what we're up to and join a project if you're interested in it. But I think one of the things that we're all most excited about is as you look at areas, for example, in standards, you can filter by technology area. So seeing everything we have, for example, in emergency management, filtering on what type of standard it is, either a committee specification or an OASIS standard, has been a really, really important change because it allows not only you, the members, to see what work is going on, but other people who want to come and join OASIS to see what we've actually been working on. So we're extremely, extremely excited by what we've been able to do with the website. We hope all of you enjoy it as well and find it useful. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Carol Cosgrove-Sachs, our Senior Advisor on International Standards Policy, who's going to talk to you about what we're doing with our new European affiliate. Dr. Carol?
Thank you, Guy. I'm very proud to be able to announce to you the setting up of the OASIS Open Europe Foundation, which has been one of the most significant achievements since Guy joined the organization. We established it just last week in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and we'll launch it officially in mid-January, we hope. We're well on track to do that. But it's going to be an exciting addition for OASIS Open, both internationally and especially in Europe, where we want to expand and enhance our European community within OASIS Open. We're planning to undertake a raft of European specific activities, especially focused on open source projects and open data management, promotion of technical specifications and standards development, and a whole range of implementation, which could include consulting, awareness raising, training, and similar activities. We believe there is a significant demand in Europe for this kind of new action on the part of OASIS Open. Now, of course, with a new organization, we need new governance tools, and the OASIS Open Europe Foundation will have its own board of directors, and the board of directors will set the strategy and oversee operations. We expect to have 7 highly qualified industry professionals. I've met some and they seem truly excellent, exceptional experience in open technologies, R&D, and tech innovation. We're in process of finalizing that, and 3 of those 7 will be from the main OASIS Open Board. We believe that this foundation will identify and implement a whole range of initiatives. And I would just like, before I close, to emphasize the range of OASIS activities in Europe, principally through our founder membership of the European Multi-Stakeholder Platform for ICT Standardization. And in that role, we join the MSP in advising the European public sector on recognized standards for interoperability and increasingly the development of open source initiatives. And we have the opportunity to advise the European Commission, which is the European executive body, on major ICT policy issues. And that could include cybersecurity, public procurement, data, and the twin transitions of moving to sustainable and a more highly digital economy in Europe. And just finally remind you that OASIS standards are included in the European Rolling Plan on ICT standardization, which intensifies the exposure of OASIS products, especially in the public sector across Europe. And that in turn will be strengthened by the establishment of the OASIS Open Europe Foundation. So thank you, folks. And I pass over now to my colleague, Chet. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carroll. Since 2014, OASIS has recognized the work of our community with awards for Outstanding Approved Standard and Outstanding New Initiative for the previous year. This year, we're pleased to announce the following nominees for the Outstanding Approved Standard. The Key Management Interoperability Protocol Specification and Protocol Profiles, both from the KMIP-TC, OData, the OData JSON format, the Common Schema Definition Language JSON representation, and the Common Schema Definition Language XML representation, all from the Open Data Protocol, TC. The PKCS number 11 base specifications, profiles, current mechanisms, and historical mechanisms from the PKCS 11 TC. The SAML v2.0 metadata interoperability profile and the metadata extensions for login and discovery user interface from the Security Services, or SAML TC. The static analysis results interchange format from the Serif TC. And lastly, the Tosca simple profile in YAML from the Topology and Orchestration Specification for Cloud Applications, or Tosca TC. And this year's winner is the SAML 2.0 metadata interoperability profile and the SAML 2.0 metadata extensions for login and discovery from the SAML TC. The SAML TC is one of the longest running technical committees here at OASIS, and SAML, the Security Assertions Markup Language, is one of our most successful. It's deployed worldwide to support authentication, authorization, and single sign-on applications across the internet. To accept the award today, we have Scott Cantor, co-secretary of the SAML TC. Scott?
Thank you, Chet. I just want to express my appreciation both to OASIS. These were documents that were done a very long time ago. These are some of the earliest work that we did following the original ratification of the standard. And it was really gratifying to finally move into OASIS standard after so long. I also want to express my appreciation to the higher ed community and the Shibboleth Consortium, because they're the ones that are still funding my participation and allow me to participate in keeping the lights on here at OASIS for the SAMA work. And I particularly want to give a shout out to the late Bob Morgan from the University of Washington, who was instrumental in getting me involved in this community in the first place and really set me on a 20-year path that I think has clearly defined my career and certainly changed the course of my life. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Scott. And again, congratulations to you and all the members of the TC. It's really an honor to house your work here at OASIS. Now let me turn things over to Jory Burson, our Open Projects Program Manager, to give the award for the Outstanding New Initiative. Jory joined OASIS in 2019, and over the past year and a half, she's brought energy, expertise, and enthusiasm to our new Open Projects Program. She's really the OP program's secret sauce. Jory, over to you.
Thank you so much, Chet. The Outstanding New Initiative Award recognizes projects and communities with high impact collaborations created at OASIS in the past year. This year's nominees for Outstanding New Initiative are Baseline, part of the Ethereum OASIS Open Project, the Collaborative Automated Course of Actions Operations for Cybersecurity Technical Committee, otherwise known as CACAO, the Lexicographic Infrastructure Data Model and API Technical Committee, the the Open Cybersecurity Alliance Open Project, the Security Algorithms and Methods Technical Committee, and the Threat Actor Context Technical Committee. And the winner is Baseline, a part of the Ethereum OASIS Open Project. Baseline combines advances in cryptography, messaging, and blockchain to deliver secure and private business processes at low cost via the public Ethereum mainnet. The Baseline protocol launched in March under the Ethereum OASIS Open Projects umbrella, and in just 9 short months, Baseline has launched 3 demos, 1 new major version release, gathered nearly 1,000 developers together in a community online, executed a Baseline summit attended by hundreds of developers, and gained the attention of enterprises such as Coca-Cola and Microsoft. Here to accept on behalf of Baseline is Anais Offranc, leader of Baseline Standards and Specification Working Group.
Thank you very much. It is a great honor to accept this award on behalf of the Baseline Protocol community. It really provides recognition for the quality of the work of a growing number of contributors. Delivering this project under the OASIS Open Framework has allowed many talented individuals to come together to make this happen. I would really like to thank all of them for their professionalism, their friendliness, and their ability to share knowledge in order to build knowledge. And thank you for the OASIS team for their ongoing support in making the Baseline Protocol the 2020 most outstanding new initiative. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Anais, and congratulations to the Baseline community. I'm now going to hand it over to my colleague, Dee. Sure, Dee, take it away.
Thanks, Jory. I think the next in line is Scott.
Yeah, I can do that. See, this is what happens when we have Jory as my opening act, because it really becomes kind of unimportant seeming after her. So let me talk a little bit about the Distinguished Contributor Awards and the process we go through to discover who's going to be the Distinguished Contributor Recipient of the Year. Because each year the staff tries to identify a few people whose work really is outstanding. And the problem is that all our members seem kind of above average. So we look at what we know about members, and we ask for nominations from everyone in the community. Because sometimes the qualities of our members, seem obvious to the staff. We see what's going on to some extent in the committees, but yet every year we ask for nominations. And when given the chance, members sometimes tell us a lot about each other, and so we use that feedback to inform us as we make our decision. when you look at the list of distinguished contributors we selected before, you'll see some folks that they're great chairs. Their communities got places that we didn't think they could get without such a good leader. You'll see people who make quiet contributions, maybe as an editor or just their spec work is just it's hard to realize exactly how much work they put into it. Some folks have brought great technical insights and solved problems that might have looked like completely unsolvable. And you'll see some folks that just challenge everyone around them to rethink everything they thought to be true and to rethink their ability to contribute to the community. And some of the folks that you've seen as just previous distinguished contributors have made a significant positive impact on the OASIS policies and the process and the community activities in OASIS. This year's first distinguished contributor that we report to you has a lot of those qualities, except perhaps not the part about the quiet contribution. Most notably, Brett Jordan. Brett Jordan received more distinguished contributor nominations from his peers over the last few years than any other member that I can remember, at least in recent history. Brett has served as co-chair and chair of the STICS subcommittee and the taxi subcommittee. His work with the STICS taxi and sidewalk specifications has been extremely notable. He's also working as a Cacao TC chair, co-chair. He's an active member of the Open C2 and the TAC committees. Let me share with you what some of what his fellow members said. Some of the phrases I heard in the nomination process was comments about his ability to lead groups of people to integrate key elements of the complex suite of protocols to make it work for the broader community. Some say he's shown leadership and ability to mediate disparate opinions. One member said if Brett had not been involved, STICS in Taxi, which is one of our most successful committees, would have made half as much progress as they have so far. Another member said, as someone with a front row seat working side by side, it's been honestly and truly amazing watching Brett work between all the views time and time again, gaining consensus and helping the CTITC move forward. And frankly, when Brett served on the OASIS board in his one term, it became clear to me, working with the board, why one of his peers had previously identified him respectfully as a firebrand. Brett brought his brand of energy and enthusiasm and work to the board and helped us rethink many of the tools and policies and practices of the board. And so for all those things and others that we're not going to mention in a short time, I'd like to present Brett with this award, which I'm not going to show you because actually my copy is blank. But thank you for staying with us, Brett, and I'll turn it over to you for a brief but meaningful acceptance comment.
Thank you, Scott. I would like to thank the OASIS staff and OASIS community for nominating and selecting me for this, great honor. I am so humbled to receive this Distinguished Contributor Award and just so fortunate to work with so many amazing people in this community. I really hope I can continue contributing for many, many years to come. Thank you again for this great honor.
And now we'll go to Dee. Sure.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I have been really fortunate and blessed to work with all three recipients. It is my honor and privilege to announce Jim Cabral as a 2020 Distinguished Contributor recipient. Jim joined OASIS in early 2003 as the primary rep for MTG Management to participate in the Legal XML Electronic Court Filing Technical Committee. Jim is currently the CIO and partner at MTG and the chair of the ECFTC. Jim has served as chair or co-chair of the ECFTC since 2010. He is a board member of IGES Institute and a past OASIS board member, and we hope to get him back on the board someday soon. It's difficult to overstate Jim's influence and contribution to the ECF standard. Jim has devoted countless hours developing this spec and getting it widely adopted within the legal community. Longtime cohort John Grisham says, Jim took the OASIS ECF standard from a sturdy but not widely used resource to a universally accepted means for linking courts, lawyers, and public institutions. ECF 4.0 provided the base on which interoperable e-filing systems have now come to dominate the court space. From Jim's colleague, Joe Wheeler, Jim is a true evangelist for OASIS and has taught hundreds, if not thousands, of court and public safety professionals about the OASIS open process. Jim Cabral richly deserves this recognition by OASIS. Jim is a recognized thought leader in the justice and public safety technology community, serving as an active leader in NEAM, ISACA, TSCA, the list goes on and on. We are so proud to name Jim Cabral Distinguished Contributor this year. Jim, could you please say a few words?
Thanks, Dee. I really want to thank all those on the staff, board, and the committees who supported my nomination for this award. I'm very honored and grateful. I also want to thank my partners at MTG Management Consultants, Joe Wheeler, Bob Kalin, and Chuck Collins, for supporting OASIS and for giving me the time and the space to contribute to this important work. I joined MTG almost 18 years ago because of our shared commitment to make a difference. I don't want to forget my collaborators, both in and outside of OASIS. There's an African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think the open standards and open source communities are probably a great example. It's definitely a team sport. So I want to do a shout out to our founders of Legal XML, John Grecian, Tom Clark, and Jim McMillan from the National Center for State Courts, Jamie Clark, our own Jamie Clark, who was very instrumental. They were all mentors to me, and I've learned so much from them about both courts and innovation. I want to thank my former co-chair, Jim Harris from the National Center, as well as shout out to all of our both courts and solution providers who have really embraced the standards. So places like Arizona, Jim Price and Gary Graham were instrumental there. LA County, Snorri Ogata, Georgia, Jorge Basto, and Utah, Ron Bowmaster. All of those guys were very instrumental in getting adoption of the standard across some of the most influential courts that we have in the country, as well as the providers, places like Tyler Technologies with Philip Bauman and Green Filing with Eric Eastman and George Connect. Outside of OASIS, Dee mentioned NEAM, and the ECF, of course, is based on the NEAM standard, National Information Exchange Model. So my fellow members of the technical committee and all my different groups within the IGIS Institute, including our courts, security and privacy and technology advisory committees, are all instrumental in promoting that. The last thing I'll say is, this is kind of a lifetime achievement award, so I feel like I'm empowered to give a little wisdom here. I want to remind everyone, as a management consultant, we learn about different management styles all the time. And there's a famous quote from Tom Peters: leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. And I think my work, is an example of that. And it's really a result of being brought up around just a culture of servant leaders, starting with my parents, in my church community, in my scouting community, my teachers and professors, my wife, Tanya, who's a teacher herself. And we're really just doing what we can to pass that on to our children and their peers through scouting and through other ways. So I just want to remind everyone that, at least from my experience, the best way to lead and to make a difference is to lead by example. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Jim. As the Goodwill Ambassador for the Cyber Threat Intelligence CTITC, Jane Ginn has been a super staff resource and a 2020 recipient of this Distinguished Contributor Award. Jane is the co-founder of the Cyber Threat Intelligence Network and the secretary of the CTITC and the Threat Actor Contacts TC. Jane has been an active member of the CTITC since the beginning, over 5 years ago, which is really hard for me to believe. She serves on the board of directors of the Cyber Resilience Institute. It's equally difficult to overstate Jane's commitment to the CTITC. Jane has set the bar very high for her tireless devotion to the community. From Trey Darling, the CTITC co-chair, it's been my honor to have worked hand in hand with Jane Ginn since the inception of the CTITC. Over the past years, I've been deeply impressed with Jane's unflagging professionalism. It was with tremendous delight that I learned of Jane's selection as a 2020 Distinguished Contributor. Jane has earned this award at least several times over. As I pen these words, there's a huge smile on my face at the thought that at long last, Jane is getting the recognition that she so deserves. And from Rich Struess, an OASIS Board of Directors member and the CTI co-chair, Jane has been a stalwart supporter of the TC's mission and has toiled in the shadows to ensure that the TC runs smoothly. We couldn't have gotten to where we are without her. Jane is a bridge builder, an ambassador and an advocate for open collaboration in multiple venues within OASIS. Jane is often the unsung hero toiling behind the scenes to make sure that records are up to date, that queries are answered, and that agendas are populated. Without Jane's attention, so many things would simply grind to a halt, yet you'd never know it from speaking with her. Her humility and grace are her hallmarks, and for this we say thank you. Congratulations, Jane. Can you please say a few words? Unmute. Start over.
Hi, that was very kind of Trey and Rich and others that have supported my nomination. And I want to thank all of you at OASIS for providing the infrastructure within which we are all operating. And I want to thank the co-chairs of the CTITC that have really been leading the technical effort throughout the past 5 years. When I came on as secretary, I made it my mission to try to document the progress that we were making, moving from STIX 1.x to where we are today with STIX 2.1, moving rapidly toward a full committee specification. I have done the same thing as I've accepted the secretary position with the threat actor context, where I'm working with Ryan Hochheimer and Vasileios Mavridoulis. I am so thankful to be working with so many wonderful people within OASIS, and I so appreciate that what you have done for us is you've provided us rules of engagement and a code of conduct that allows us to reach consensus as we move toward these international standards and as we move towards interoperability. And I will continue to document what I'm seeing along the way. Thank you again, and back over to you, Dee.
Thanks, Jane. And to close the loop, I would like to hand it back over to Guy.
Awesome. Thank you, Dee. So I'd like to say congratulations once again to our Open Cup and Distinguished Contributor Award winners. You know, we always say at OASIS, or at least staff has told me, and I believe this as well, that really it's all about the members. Without all of you, none of us would be here. So thank you all very much for trusting us with your projects and your communities. You know, as you can see, despite the challenges this year with COVID-19, we've accomplished quite a lot as an organization, and we're going to have a short video here in a second to highlight that for you. But before we get to that, I wanted to send a special thank you to everyone on OASIS staff who've worked extremely hard this year, our board of directors who've been amazing, and most of all, members who have welcomed me this year. I really, really look forward to what we're all going to accomplish together in 2021. So with that, let's go ahead and take a quick look back at everything we've accomplished together here in 2020. And once the video is done, we'll be done with our webinar, and we'll see you all in 2021. Stay safe and stay healthy.